Greetings, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We hope you are ready to cook. We are going to ask that as you get prepared, that you take a quick minute to fill out the pre-survey. It has been placed in the chat, and I will place it a couple more times as people continue to come in. So again, we are excited to have you. We hope you're excited, ready to cook, and happy Valentine's Day to everyone. Again, we like to welcome everyone. Hope you're ready to cook. If you could please complete the pre-survey in the chat, and we'll get started shortly. All right, we are going to get started. So good evening, everyone. My name is Crystal R. Brown, and I am the director for the All of Us program for Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated with the BGLC, Black Greek Letter Consortium. And we are actually going to turn it over to our first guest for tonight, Ms. Lakeisha Jones, who is the engagement manager for the New York City All of Us Consortium.
Hello, good evening. Thank you. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Thank you for having me this evening. I'm going to share my screen and share a little bit about the program and how everyone's been involved. One moment here. Let me.
What lies inside all of us is more than data. It's life. What's flowing through America's veins is its diversity. We ask for 1 million individuals to come forward and stand on this landmark in history. All of us are different, and it's those very differences that will lead to answers for generations to come.
So just wanted to start with that. So the All of Us Research Program, the mission of it is to accelerate health and medical breakthroughs by enabling individualized prevention, treatment, and care. And the project aims to collect genetic and health data from 1 million volunteers. So the All of Us Research Program is actually a historic longitudinal effort to gather 1 million people, gather data from 1 million or more people living across the United States. And again, as I said, is to accelerate research and improve health by taking into account things like lifestyle, socioeconomics, environment, and biology, so that researchers would one day uncover paths to delivering actually precision medicine, individualized prevention, treatment, and care. The All of Us Research Program is part of the National Institutes of Health Precision Medicine Initiative. So many people say it's like precision medicine, what is it? Things that we've thought about before, heard about before that we know play factor in how we stay healthy or contribute to us being ill. So there's lifestyle factors, environmental factors, and genetic factors that all play a part in how well we are doing with our health and well-being. What's unique about the All of Us Research Program is that not only is it enrolling 1 million people or more, but it's a very diverse collection of information. It's focusing a lot on the underrepresented populations that have not been present in biomedical research in the past. The focus is on participants more as partners, not just individuals coming in and giving your information, but actually getting back information as well. Our participants also are involved in our governance. They're invited to co-invent systems. We have very active participants on different boards and committees, and individuals that really go out and spread the word, not only to friends and families, but in their communities as well. And then also the All of Us Research Program, we also have a public and a research level database that's open source for softwares and tools if anyone's looking to conduct research on the community to see these are the health concerns, either as a small university or as a community organization or as a layperson and wants to see what is going on throughout the country. So the All of Us Research Program, why do we need it? There are 3 reasons that we need it, and it's for individuals. There's the participants, it's needed for the professional providers that are out there, and it's also needed for our biomedical researchers. So let's start with first the patients. A lot of times, patients are not seen or have been left out of biomedical research and have often left out of the healthcare solutions that are developed that are then implemented and for treatment. For professional providers, it's also very difficult for them to coordinate care between different providers, coordinate different medical records. Many times they're seeing someone for the first time and trying to piece together what is going on in someone's background. And then for the biomedical research that are out there, there's an enormous cost and time just to try to recruit participants to participate in biomedical research, to study, to come to conclusions, to develop protocols and then medications that may be beneficial to us. So the promise for our participants primarily is the opportunity to improve health for the future generations. It gives individuals an opportunity to learn about their own health so that they can make more informed decisions and have more informed conversations, not only with their family members, they could also have this with their practitioners, or they may just keep the information to themselves to know what they should be more aware of when thinking about their health. I know in my family, sometimes individuals get overwhelmed with like, should I think about my heart? Should I think about my brain? What am I worried about next? So by participating in this within this research program, it may help provide them with information on things that they may be at greater risk to, so they can focus their energy in those areas. This is also an opportunity for us to ensure that our communities are included, to really understand what affects people's health and to learn about different research opportunities. Many times research opportunities are out there and we're just not aware of them. So the All of Us Research Program is spreading the word to let individuals know participation is available, and we'll talk about what the return of results looks like. And it's also a chance to meet others like you. Again, throughout New York, individuals that are participating in the program find ways to connect with one another. There's this great sense of camaraderie. This is a long-term research program. It's a one-time enrollment, but over time, as the participants in the research grows, again, there's a continued return of information to those that participate. For our providers, the most important thing for our providers is increasing scientific evidence and improved guidelines. So the recommendations that they're putting forth for us as individuals, for our family members, for our friends, is actually based on more accurate collection of information from more diverse populations. If they have a better understanding, not only of the genetic risk that you may have if something comes up, but also the environmental and the lifestyle factors that are have an implication on health, then they can also know how to move forward with treatment plans, how to discuss risks in a more comprehensive manner with the individuals sitting in front of them. There's increased knowledge in the differences based on diverse populations, as you'll see many times in medicine and public health. Again, if you're not part of the research cohort, then a lot of information is left out and taken into consideration. More information is developed that may allow for earlier detection. If individuals get back that, hey, I may be at higher risk for something, then if somebody wants to share it with their physician can then take note and actually keep an eye on things a little bit sooner than may have been thought of in the past without this information. The innovations also make it easier to share electronic health records with providers and with patients. And then hopefully for our providers, this new knowledge will help us address some health disparities, increase our patient engagement, and really understand consumer health devices and apps and how they can benefit the collection of information from participants that the providers can use then when meeting with them. The promise for researchers. For researchers, the main promise with the All of Us research program is that there's a save on time and resources and accelerates research. Where 85% of clinical trials actually do not get completed. So the opportunity for researchers to be able to access a large cohort of individuals with diverse backgrounds of age, demographic information, also whether in urban centers or in rural communities, they have all of that at their fingertips by accessing our data research hub. So with this, the long longitudinal data set, again, the program goes on for about 10 years. They can follow participants as they move, as they age, as they develop different relationships and try different treatments. And through this, then they can really see the patterns that are taking place, not only in a small community or in their own institution, but across the country as well, so that they can come to conclusions that actually have a more significant impact and can lead to then thus precision medicine. Some of the scientific opportunities that especially is important coming out of the All of Us research program is the potential to identify the causes for individual variation in the response to common medications, so pharmacogenetics. As many individuals know, sometimes you're going in for a concern and you're giving a specific treatment, and then there's a side effect, and then there's a lot of trial and error and back and forth and trying to figure out what may work best for you because everything is so we are very diverse individuals and our bodies react to medications and treatments in very different ways. So they're looking at pharmacogenetics. They're also very interested in discovering new biological markers. And this is where they're looking for the signal for increased or decreased risk for developing common diseases. So the All of Us research program, as part of their return of information, is looking at the ACMG 59, which looks at the risk for disease, risk for cancers particularly. And then also the scientific opportunities are to empower study participants with data and with information that can hopefully help them improve their own health, in addition to other. Some of the benefits of the All of Us research program is to answer questions with everyone participating. We may be able to answer, how may we prevent chronic pain that affects, more than 100 million people across the United States? There's there's a breadth of information that is captured in the All of Us research program database that any university or community organization or layperson may be interested in answering. And so by having 1 million individuals enrolled, they'll be able to look at the information that is there. Some of the information that we've already seen come out of the All of Us research program has been the COVID-19 serology study. You may have seen that where it said we noticed that the SARS antibodies were actually present across the United States a lot earlier than was originally thought of. That came out of the All of Us research program that showed up by participants participating across the country and identified in about 5 states that it was here sooner than later. So at this time, we have over 462,000 participants right now enrolled in the All of Us research program. 275,000 have shared their electronic health records, which is wonderful. So that, again, as they're following individuals over the 10 years, they keep going to your doctor, and that's how they're able to keep track of how you're being treated, how your medications are working, and just your basic height, weight, blood pressure readings are. And then over 340,000 individuals have already provided their biosamples. And the biosamples include urine and blood that is collected. And this information is then sent to the Mayo Clinic and stored there until research takes place. Now, usually the main question that pops up for me for these All of Us research program is privacy and security. And that is the most valid concern because, again, we're collecting a lot of sensitive information here. But our security and our privacy is of the utmost importance and is the primary focus in this research program in making sure the data is kept secure. So we have a data warehouse that is built with advanced security. The data is encrypted. When information is collected, it's all de-identified. So there's very few touch points where an individual is able to be seen from Lakeisha Jones. This is her sample, and then the researchers and how they're handling that information. The researchers sign agreements as well that tie them into not trying to figure out who this individual is. But again, they're looking at more overarching patterns in disease and wellness. For individuals that are actually interested in joining, there's a 2-step process for this. There's an online enrollment piece, and that is when you go onto the website, you go to joinallofus.org, and you actually enroll. You would set up your own account with your email address or your cell phone number and your password. It'll ask you a few security questions. The program then walks you through a series of videos that thoroughly explains, and I say thoroughly, it thoroughly explains what the All of Us research program is, what it isn't, and what you're consenting to. Just generally, also with sharing your electronic health records. Again, that sharing is looking at overall patterns and how you're being diagnosed. They're not trying to follow an individual specifically. And then also the consent whether or not you want to get back your genetic results. So by the end of it then, after you answer a series of surveys and you'd like to continue on and provide biosamples, then you would set up an appointment at one of our locations. It's at New York Presbyterian, Columbia University, but 168th Street. It could be at Weill Cornell over on 70th and First Avenue, or at Harlem Hospital in central Manhattan there. And so when you sign up for one of the enrollment locations, they would take your blood pressure, your height, your weight, they take your hips and waist, give you your BMI measurements, and then you'd provide blood and urine. If for any reason you're not able to provide blood, then they'll also discuss with you what the options are for saliva. And then also you're able to tie your Fitbit or any type of digital apps to your profile. So again, the more information that the researchers are able to see and collect, then the more information that they're able to see patterns and then come to conclusions a lot faster. So not only are individuals participating across the country, we have an entire network of organizations that are also spreading the word, such as Zeta Phi Beta here today, this evening, but we also have individuals at different levels nationally and locally that are providing this information to their own communities, because again, you want to make sure that every community knows about the All of Us research program, knows what it offers and what it means for the future of precision medicine and individual healthcare. So I shared at the beginning just a general overview kind of what the All of Us research programs mean to some, but here's a personal account that I'd like to share from someone in the New York Consortium that has decided to join.
Well, I think that what's unique and important about the All of Us research program is that, there are treatments and medications that don't work for everyone. And this program is really trying to find out why. They're looking into lifestyle, your environment, your genetics to get that answer. And I think that that's important. Personally, I wanted to become a participant in this program and be involved because as a Black person living in America, I know that we've been left out of biomedical research. largely in the past. And this program is also looking to change that. And they're looking at more diverse populations. I would say to anyone who has reservations about joining that you could possibly be a part of medical breakthroughs in the future. Why would you not want to be a part of it? I'm Chantel, and I joined For All of Us.
So just wanted to say thank you. If anyone has any questions about the All of Us research program, I'm going to put a link also into the chat there, but I'm free to answer those as well. But also for more information, please scan the QR code or go to the link here and you can enter your information and we will follow up with you, either providing you with a phone call or an email to tell you more about the All of Us research program and answer any questions that you may have. So thank you for having me here. I'm going to stop sharing right now and see if there's any questions.
So once again, on behalf of myself and Crystal, we are so grateful that you could join us. We have a lot of returners, and there are people on our YouTube that are watching as well. And so what we'll do, the Q&A will remain open during the cooking demonstration. And so we'll make sure if there are any direct questions, we'll get them to you. And after the demonstration, if someone wants to hang back, Lakeisha will be staying on as well. So tonight is all about cooking with love. And as you heard, our health is important, but we also want to have tasty food. So I am so excited to introduce to some and re-acclimate to others our awesome chef, Ty Clark, who hails from New Jersey. She does travel. She is the owner of the Culinary God, and she is a culinary teacher. So I'm going to turn it over to Chef Clark. Throughout the demonstration, if you are like, wait a minute, did she say 2 sticks of butter? Or you have any questions, use the chat and we'll make sure that Chef Clark, as some of our stories say, the teacher will give you the directions that you need. Chef Clark, the floor is yours.
Hello, everybody. I just wanted to come in and thanks for having me. Good to see some of you or all of you from last time. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Black History Month, everybody. So with all that being said, I know today we're going to do a cooking demonstration and we're going to do a salmon panna cotta. With that being said, we have little things that we deal with on a day-to-day basis, which is inflammation, diabetes, high blood pressure. That's something that frequents in our culture very often. So one of the things that I am very, very purpose-driven and intentional about is watching what I eat. I have a health journey that I'm on myself. I was diagnosed with high blood pressure maybe 2 years ago. And it's definitely a struggle because you have to readjust the way that you eat. And sometimes we eat things blindly and we're not thinking about little things and the small things, but sometimes those little things is what helps the big things. So today, with us making the salmon panna cotta, one of the first things I want you to look at is we're going to be using avocado oil. Avocado oil is a great oil to use instead of a vegetable oil or canola oil because those things are man-made products. With them being man-made products, they cause inflammation in the body. And with that being said, with inflammation in the body, we have swelling, we have joint pain, we have weight gain. We don't want to deal with any of those things because those things also bring on disease. So I'm going to just turn my other camera on and adjust it so you guys will be able to see my hand. Okay. So today, this is right here is the avocado oil that I'll be using. You can find this avocado oil in most grocery stores. You can find it at Costco. You can find it at BJ's and things like that. If you are having, if you're struggling with eating healthy, I will also always say, start with the small things. You'll be surprised by just changing the oil that your food is cooked in will just go a long way. Because a lot of times we'll plan a very healthy meal, but if we cook it in the wrong oil, then we're kind of doing ourselves a disservice. So I'm going to turn my flame on. turn it on low and bring up my flame hot slowly. See if anybody can see my flame. Okay. Throw some gloves on. I'm going to add here a little bit of garlic powder, black pepper. Those two things are great to season with. Number one, garlic always gives a good flavor. It doesn't have that many carbs in it, but it does have carbs, but good carbs, right?
Chef Clark, 1 second. We're gonna see, I'm not sure if there's a way that maybe our tech can help us. They're not seeing the other camera, so I'm not sure if we're able to do a split screen. I'll see what our tech says.
No
So,
problem. I'll just
okay. Can someone let us know in the chat? They're both pinned now. If you could put in the chat, can you see the prep camera and Chef Clark's camera? Okay. All right, they're saying no, still only one.
Only one, okay.
1 second, let us. And this is why
Okay.
I believe he's trying to pin both. So just 1 second.
Not a problem.
Work with us. I am so happy everyone's giving us. Okay, 1 second. Just give us 1 second and we'll get the second camera on. And don't worry if you're following along. She is just seasoning. Oh, okay.
Can you see him now? We're good?
I believe we're good. We see it now. Yes. Thank you to our awesome tech, Jamar, who is a member of Phi Beta Sigma. So thank you, brother.
Okay. So now where we left off is seasoning. So we got a little bit of black pepper, garlic powder. I'm going to add a pinch of Obey, not too much because we want to watch our salt content, especially if we're talking about health. I'm going to use paprika for color. And then here is another great thing for you guys to use. Himalayan sea salt. Can you see? Okay. Himalayan sea salt is great too because it's better because it's more of a natural salt than those iodized salts. Doesn't have too much preservatives or extra chemicals in them. So if you had to choose a salt, that would definitely be the better one. Also, if some of you have diets where you can't have any salt at all, one of the main things that I always recommend is to finish with salt. So you ever sit down at the table and people just grab their food and before they even taste anything, they just start adding salt? We definitely don't want to be those people. But if you have a diet where you're restricted to no salt or the average amount for Americans, which the amount we should have, which is a half a teaspoon. Now I know that that's definitely unrealistic, but if that's your case where the doctor really wants to restrict your salt, then I always recommend to season your food with herbs and spices. And then after your food is done, finish with salt because you'll get more of that flavor that will satisfy your taste buds. Okay, so right here, flame on. Okay, I'm gonna slide my flame over so you guys can see. Have my flame on. I'm gonna add my avocado oil, probably about a tablespoon. Now, anytime you're using any type of oil, or when you're cooking, period, when you're putting a piece of protein or anything into the pan, you want to make sure that you lay it away, okay? Meaning when you place the protein or any type of ingredient into the pan, you're laying it away from you and not towards you. The reason for that is because you don't want any of the oils to pop you. Okay, so here, as you can see with me, put the flame on, put the salmon on, lay it away from me. So if anything splatters, it splatters in the opposite direction of me. That way it'll prevent injury or anything like this. When you're cooking with your kids, that's something that you definitely want to make sure that you tell them. Is to always lay away. That's one of the things I have to tell my students, and it prevents me from A, going to the nurse's office, or B, going to the hospital. Okay? Let our salmon cook up a little bit. Now, the vegetable that we chose tonight was broccolini. You have to pardon me here. I had broccoli instead because the produce wasn't necessarily looking the freshest when I went to the store, so I chose to substitute that with broccoli. If you have broccolini, it's perfectly fine, simply because we're going to cook it the same exact way. Only difference between broccoli and broccolini is the stems are just a little longer. Okay, so as you can see here, look up, you can see my salmon is cooking. The difference in the flesh color between the red and then the pink, or the lighter pink and the darker pink, that's when you know it's cooking. But you don't want to disturb it. You kind of want to let it do its thing. Okay. Now I'm just going to check. Now you know your salmon is ready to be flipped or to come off for a second when it's no longer sticking to the pan. When the salmon sticks to the pan, it's simply because it's still cold. Or any type of protein still sticks to the pan, it's simply because it's still cold. So I'm going to take my salmon off. I'm going to add it to my cutting board, let that sit there for a second. And in the meantime, I'm going to add my capers. Capers are berries, and they're cooked in a brine. With that being said, it gives you like a nice kind of vinegary bite to it, but it always adds a great flavor to it too. Now I'm going to deglaze with my white wine. Now, when I say deglaze, that means I'm removing all of these bits from the bottom of the pan. So right here, deglaze with a little white wine. Now I'm going to add butter. Let that melt in. Add it 1 tablespoon at a time. Here I'm working with 3 to 4 tablespoons. I'm going to watch my sauce and watch it do its thing. Now, I know most of you are thinking, wait a minute, the salmon isn't all the way cooked. But anytime you're cooking anything, any type of piece of protein, you're removing the liquids from it. So when you're removing the liquids, it makes it dry. So what we want to do is we want to add juice back into it. So we cooked it halfway. You can do this with chicken. I wouldn't recommend doing it with shrimp because shrimp is just a leaner protein and it cooks faster. So I'm adding that here. You can see my sauce, butter, it's been mounded in. Now, I'm going to flip my salmon onto the other side, put it back into the pan, let that continue to cook up, and then I'm going to add my chicken stock. because if we're taking liquids out of it by cooking it, we want to put the liquids back in. Now, with that being said, I'm going to take half of my lemon now and juice it, add a little juice to it, simply because I want to cook everything in there. Because remember, we want to be heart conscious. So with us being heart conscious and being more healthy, we're going to use our broccoli for our side dish. Now, broccoli is great because it's rich with fiber, it has proteins and a ton of different nutrients. So with that being said, with my liquid, cooking my salmon, once my salmon is just about done, I'm going to add my broccoli to this liquid. And with me adding my broccoli to this liquid, my broccoli will cook into the same juices that the salmon is cooking in, which will give it the same flavor and complement it. Now, as you can see here, my salmon is continuing to bubble up. The butter is working in there, all of those flavors. We don't have too much salt because we want to watch the salt content level. And then with us using broccoli and the salmon, we have not too many starches, which we know if we had too much sugar throughout the day, those carbohydrates will turn into sugar in our body. So we want to do the opposite. And we want to put ourselves in a calorie deficit. That way we can lose weight, because the ultimate way that you lose weight and you stay healthy is that you burn more calories than you take in. Okay, so once again, when I'm watching here, my salmon, look on the side, it looks like it's just about cooked all the way, but right here in the center is what we're worrying about. So now I'm going to add my broccoli. So to this side, here and there. Then, if you have a lid at home that matches, then it's perfectly fine. You can use a lid. But if you do not have a lid at home, you can simply take another pan just like so and place it right on top.
Chef Clark, we do have a nice question. Someone said, "Good evening, this is looking delicious. Is there another option if you don't like capers?"
Sure, absolutely. I would always recommend maybe a nice shallots. You can do peppers. You can do a roasted pepper, where you can find those at the stores. You could do piquillo peppers. Shallots would definitely be my go-to if I didn't do the capers. They won't give the same flavor, but shallots is always a great compliment because it's in the onion family, but it's not as loud as the onion. It's more of a subtle taste.
All right, we got another good question. The chef mentioned cooking with avocado oil. How do you use that when cooking chicken?
Are we frying chicken or are we just sauteing chicken?
Oh, good question. And as our salmon at home is cooking, please keep the questions coming. This is good. Maxine said frying chicken.
Okay, frying chicken. Now, here's the thing when it comes to all oils. This is one of the things that you want to make sure that you always check out. When it comes to oils, they have these things called smoke points. And I hate to say just oils because oils is another word for fats, right? So we have different types of oils, different types of fats. We have lard, we have butter, we have grapeseed, we have avocado, we have canola, we have vegetable, right? So when you're deep frying something, especially chicken, you have to cook it all the way through, which means it's going to take some time. So you want to, when you're frying chicken, you want to look into something with a higher smoke point. Avocados can definitely work well. Avocado oil can definitely work well. We just want to make sure that we check the smoke point and compare it to what chicken is usually fried in, which will be a vegetable oil or peanut oil or canola oil, because they have a higher smoke point. And if it's closer to the same smoke point, which I believe it is, then you can definitely use it for frying. Any other questions out there?
Yes. Joanne said, please explain smoke point. Good
Okay,
question.
well, the way, like, say for instance, butter, if you ever look when you cook with butter, butter burns, right? So with butter burning is because it's made from cream, right? You ever see when someone churns butter, or when they say they're churning butter? Churning butter is because it's coming from cream. So if you took a pint of heavy cream and you put it in a KitchenAid mixer and you put the whisk attachment on it, right? You'll whisk it and it's going to turn into whipped cream. If you keep whisking it, it will break and then it will form butter. That's how butter is made. So that's pretty much what it goes to. So when you talk about smoke points, right? Butter burns because of the low smoke point, because of the milk solids that it's in it. So those milk solids are which gives it its low smoke point, because it burns.
All right.
Did I explain that right, or do you want me to explain it again?
I think you did really good, and I love the examples. And like we said, while we have both Lakeisha from the All of Us program, we have Chef Clark giving us healthy tips. Please keep the questions coming. This is great time to get those recipes going. We have Lois who said, okay, what other vegetable can be used? And I'm guessing she's saying with this particular dish, like if she didn't want to do a broccoli, what else would you recommend?
You can do spinach, you can do Swiss chard, you can do cauliflower. Like, the opportunities are endless with this dish. You can do whatever, you can do carrots. I would say you can do collard greens. Believe it or not, a lot of times which I know most of you believe it, you can make collard greens very, very healthy. Everybody believes that well, not everybody, but a few people may believe that when you're cooking collard greens, we got to cook it on the stove for like 4 hours. Absolutely not. I have a dish where I make a black eyed pea hummus on top of a fried plantain, which I fry in avocado oil with a nice crispy collard green. So what I did was I just took the collard greens, did a quick little flash into the oil, and then let it crisp up, and I just put it right on top. So you can do any type of vegetable with this dish, and it still can be healthy. It's just the little things that you tweak. Once you tweak your little things, like I said, the opportunity is endless. But to be fully transparent with you guys right now, I'm actually on a 20-day vegan fast. So as much as I'm cooking this food and as much as I love to eat and enjoy eating, I can't even eat any of it. I can't taste it or anything. It's completely vegan. So I am on my health journey as well, where I have to focus on a lot of different things that haven't been working for my body. So I'm actually going back to the drawing board and starting from scratch too. So things are cool. Any other questions?
Yes. So we have for healthy cooking, what oils would you recommend cooking with other than vegetable or canola? And then I'll give you the next question after that.
Sure. The vegetables the oils that I recommend, definitely avocado oil, grapeseed oil, olive oil, right? But when we go to the store, most of the time we see extra virgin olive oil. Extra virgin has a low smoke point, which means with it being such a low smoke point, extra virgin is like a finishing oil. So it's oils that are used for like salad dressings and things like that. So I recommend olive oil, avocado oil, grapeseed oil. Those oils is one I definitely recommend.
Awesome. People want to know, do you have a cookbook?
I'm actually working on one right now. It's definitely been a little bit of a challenge, but it's definitely in the works because I just have to sit down to do it. Because a lot of times when people look at cookbooks, they would say that it would be an easy thing, but it's very challenging for me because I have to sit still. And as chefs, always up, always moving around. And with me teaching also, it's a time thing, but I'm definitely going to get it done. I'm actually glad that question came up because now you're going to hold me to the fire. Now I got to get it done.
Awesome. Another question is Oh, yes. Titisha Smith said yes, because I need your Rasta pasta recipe.
Okay, thank you.
And so Tracy asks, what is the name of the fast that you're currently doing?
Well, I'm actually working with a woman by the name of Jen. If you look her up on Instagram, she's called the Motivational Eater. And I'm actually doing de-herbed, but she put me on a completely solid meal plan. She's actually my health coach. But if you look her up on Instagram right now, it's called the Motivational Eater. So I had to do a complete detox, which will detox all of my organs. So I'm on a strict regimen where I have to take I think it's 30 herb pills a day. And it's from 5 a.m., 7 a.m., 10 a.m., 12, 2, 5, and 7. So each of those time frames, I'm taking 5 other pills. I actually could show it to you. It's right up here. See the name of the company, de-herbed. But if you reach out to Jen, her name is the Motivational Eater, and I'll actually write it in the chat.
Okay. And Chef Clark is a culinary teacher in Newark, New Jersey at Marion P. Thomas Charter High School. And she also does travel for her catering company as well. And Chef Clark, please go ahead and put your links and stuff in the chat, because some people are directly messaging and we want to make sure your information is out there. And as someone said earlier, if you notice the time, the meal is done.
Mm-hmm.
And we intentionally wanted to pick a meal because most, if not all of us that are on, no pun intended, are running around all day, but in less than 30 minutes, a healthy meal was prepared. And so we want to make sure if you have any other culinary questions related to how can you incorporate other healthy tips, or if you have questions about the All of Us program, Lakeisha is still on as well. Someone asked earlier, is All of Us only in New York City? And so, no, we have a variety of cities. So if you go on joinallofus.org, you'll see there are many other cities, but New York is one that is very close to us here in the tri-state. So I just want to see, do we have any questions for Chef Clark or Lakeisha at this time? And we wanted to make sure we didn't hold you too long on Valentine's Day.
Okay, so right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and plate.
Awesome.
Out of the way so everybody can see. Okay, so if you want to get fancy for loved ones, simple, and you can do this with any vegetable. I would start by plating the broccoli first. Then put the salmon directly on top. And then take my sauce with the capers, shallots, and then just simply pour it right on top. And that right here is your dish. You have your sauce, you have your butter, you have your capers, everything right on top. I think you would definitely be pleased with that.
That looks amazing.
And can you hold right there? I need to get a picture. 1 second.
Oh,
yes. Thank you. Got it.
Okay.
All right. So we'll see if anybody has any questions for Chef Clark or for Miss Lakeisha Jones, representing All of Us. Don't be shy, but thank you for those that did pose some awesome questions in the chat. I definitely learned some new things, especially the smoke point. And the fact that extra virgin olive oil is not necessarily the oil I need to be sauteing with. So thank you. Oh, great question. Joanne said, can we substitute the butter?
Absolutely. Definitely. You can substitute the butter for vegan butter, or you could just not put butter in at all. What you can do is you can start with your oils, and then when you put it in, you just let it cook down and reduce down with the chicken stock or the vegetable stock, whatever you like.
All right. And the chef's info is in the chat. Awesome, awesome.
Anybody got any other questions?
They may be eating too, Chef Clark.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
All right. So as we wrap up, oh, Maxine says someone mentioned a pasta recipe, and will this video be posted? What we'll be doing, this was streamed on YouTube. So as Crystal just put in the chat, the link will be sent out as a thank you to all of the participants. We also know many people are, dining out for Valentine's Day, but register so that they could get the link afterwards. So it will be emailed out for sure. And I'll let you talk about the Rasta pasta. That was Titisha, my New Jersey State Director, who brought that Rasta pasta up, just in case.
She wants to do she's asking about the Rasta pasta for tonight or for another time.
I believe Maxine was just saying she wanted to know what type of pasta. I think.
For Rasta pasta?
Yes.
Well, Rasta pasta, you can use any type of pasta you like. It's simply just a sauce, which is almost like an island Alfredo, I would say. So it's like a coconut base with a little bit of curry, a little bit of jerk seasoning, little heavy cream, little Parmesan. So that's what it's just a sauce, but you can use any type of pasta for Rasta pasta. Chris said, I need all of that.
Yes, you're getting a lot of emojis in the chat.
Well, definitely be sure to follow me on IG. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Chef Ty Clark. And I'll be doing more healthy tips as well on there. Definitely interacting with the students. Like I told you, that's one of my most rewarding things is I get to teach my brown kids every day. So that is by far the most rewarding job I've ever done. So if you follow me on IG or if you subscribe to my YouTube page, you'll definitely see a lot of that, where we are introducing children to a way of eating healthy and showing them the different culinary skills and how to pretty much the sustainability of keeping themselves healthy and keeping their families healthy. Because a lot of times when I teach to my students and I talk to them about smoke points and oils, they in turn go home and talk to their family members. And that we all know that it all starts at home.
Well, Chef Clark, you are making me very hungry, that beautiful plate. And so before we go, we just want to remind everyone, so tonight was Cooking with Love. Next week, we will be doing the balancing act. How's your mental health? And so every Monday in this Health is Wealth series, we want to pinpoint different tips. And so we encourage those of you to come out. We have awesome speakers. It's the same link as tonight. And so we just want to say thank you again to Chef Clark as well as to Lakeisha Jones. We're not rushing anyone, but we will leave the post survey up on the screen. And Crystal has placed it in the chat. But if you have any question, whether it's the healthy cooking, or you want to learn more about all of us, or you just want to know, I've been to these events, what's the next step? We do have Chef Clark and Miss Jones still on, so we'll hang out for a few more minutes. And thank you all for coming out on a Valentine's Day. We appreciate you. All right, we're getting some thank yous in the chat. It's our pleasure.